New Year 2024. As you can see, adventure is afoot, and I'm out in our Winnebago Revel. It's early January and I'm out exploring the desert about 2 hours north of Tucson, Arizona. Just before Christmas, Shannon and I left Arizona and we stopped in Texas to visit Shannon's family, and then I left her there for the holidays and I continued in the van northeast to visit my family in Pennsylvania. And then after the new year, I drove the van all the way back to Arizona. Shannon flew home, and it took me about 4 days. I think Google Maps said it was 30-something hours. But I just got home last weekend, and I'm excited to be out here recording tracks again. So let's see what we can find. Some phenomenal dispersed campsites right off of the primitive BLM road. This is nice. You can tell people have been using this. There's some remnants of a campfire, flat spots. Lovely setting in the Sonoran Desert. Look at this, right next to the saguaro. I could pull the van in here. Great privacy, very quiet and peaceful. I'm not settling into camp quite yet. It's still way too early. Got a lot of exploring to do, but I'm definitely putting a pin in this. Rocks. Nothing too technical, just loose. I was stoked about this track because it was wide enough for the van, it wasn't too technical for the van. It's going up into the mountains. The views are amazing up here, but I think there's a closed gate up ahead. All right. Well, apparently there's a mine up the mountain, and that's what this gate is for. So, I'm gonna have to backtrack from here and go, I don't know where. I don't know about this track. A lot of vegetation indicates that it's seldom used, pretty degraded. But another decent campsite with a fire ring. I don't know. There are relatively fresh tire tracks. Looks like a side-by-side, but center vegetation like this just suggests that it might not be fit for Winnebago. My gut's telling me that I should backtrack to pavement. Play it safe. Made it back to pavement, and I drove a little down the road and turned into another track in the same general region. So now I'm back off pavement and gonna give it another go. Although this road is very rough, it seems to be a little bit wider and a little bit better traveled than the track that I was just on. creams corn chicken with roasted white cheddar potatoes. And I heated it up in the Hot Logic dealie while I was driving. Just run this for 2 hours. By the time you stop, it's nice and hot. Wow, this is an amazing spot. And according to my GPS, there's still several miles of trail to go. Unfortunately, I ran out of daylight, and normally I'd camp right here. This is phenomenal. But I checked the weather forecast, and tomorrow morning it's supposed to be overcast, and then by 10 a.m. there's a chance of precipitation. If I spent the night here and woke up and found a dusting of snow, things could get really dicey going down the mountain in the van, and my tires are on their way out. In fact, probably get new tires this week or next. So I'm not gonna chance it. I enjoyed dinner, I watched the sunset. I'm gonna backtrack back down the mountain and spend the night at a lower elevation to be safe. Maybe at that campsite that I found this morning that had the Saguaros. Unless I find a different spot along the way, but that spot isn't too far and I'm sure that I'd get a good night's sleep. Good morning. It's a little bit cloudy out this morning, but this spot is great. I'm glad I came down the mountain last night because up there, who knows, it might be snow, it might be slick conditions, and well, I didn't get down the mountain unscathed. Driving up was a breeze and the van didn't have any trouble, but that gave me a little bit of false confidence for the drive down. I was coming around the bend toward an off-camber section, and at the off-camber section, the front end of the van was centered in the track, but the rear axle wasn't quite there. So it slid sideways, the back slid sideways, and the driver's side rear dropped off a ledge. I should have taken my time. I didn't have any trouble with this on the way up, but the passenger rear corner of the van, no, it's the driver's side rear corner of the van slid off the trail right here because this is off camber. There's no damage except I did smash the heater exhaust, which is just a foil tube. It's not a big deal. But this is where something was dragging, possibly differential. But it never felt like tipping over. It just slid. It kind of crabbed along. It was stable, so I was able to drive right out of it, but okay. It all worked out, and I got down safely, but driving at night, not a fan. It was too dark. This is a nice, gentle trek through the desert. Looks like there might be a good campsite over here. Ooh. Well, it's a nice spot if you like the open-air desert. Not much protection from the elements, especially not on a rainy day in early January. Yuck. No. Conditions today got really lame. Next order of business, I'm gonna stop at a car wash and then I'm gonna go home and make a video. I am back home and it is the next day. The van's all clean, and before I conclude this episode, I wanted to talk with you about Venture Forward, what's going on, and my plans for 2024. Last year, I fumbled around with the channel a lot because I was trying to figure out how to rebuild momentum. Venture Forward, when I started, 2017, 2018, 2019, I had a story. I was a solo traveler in my Jeep in an awkward place in life, trying to figure things out. And years went by, and I've been blessed. Everything came together. I met Shannon. We got this house. And I'm happy. I'm exactly where I want to be. But after that point, I was having trouble figuring out what story to tell. But there are 2 points that I want to convey, and that is, I have no plans of stopping. So even if you see any irregularity from me, or you're wondering where I am, rest assured, I've got a video planned for YouTube unless you hear from me otherwise. I'm not just going to disappear and go offline. And that brings me to my second point, that I'm actively trying different things. I want to expand Venture Forward beyond simply a YouTube channel. I want to cultivate a real-life community. I want to work with businesses, much like I'm working with Sonoran rovers to showcase their vehicles from time to time. And also, I'm putting most of my energy into venture4wd.com, which I'm building into a sort of hub where you can download GPS data to see where I've been. You can browse campsites. I plan to have routes and signups for events, a newsletter, and hopefully blog posts if I'm not spreading myself too thin. Those are the things that I'm working on in the background to evolve and to grow. But as far as the YouTube videos go, I plan to get back to my roots and resume doing one new YouTube video a week, and it'll either be an adventure like the one you just watched, tinkering in the driveway with one of the vehicles, a special guest vehicle like the Wolf last year, or an extended trip. One takeaway from my experience last year was that I was trying to figure out the algorithm and appease the algorithm. And you can't do that. Venture forward, I don't know, some people might be able to do that. But venture forward, when it started in 2017, I just made videos for fun. And I didn't care if anyone watched or not. I didn't even pay attention to analytics. Just one day, a lot of you started watching. And the only thing... My camera overheated just as I was about to finish what I was saying. But my goal for 2024 is to get back to Venture Forward's roots and do it for the joy of making videos. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week.